Hello guys, it is Thursday Night Live, and tonight I'm going to be talking about why I have gone carnivore for the minimum of 30 days. I've already decided I'm on day 12 and that I'm going to be extending it for sure for 45 days. But I'm going to talk tonight. I am on Instagram stories and also on Facebook. So I'm just going to dive deep into it. So I'm Stephanie Rofkahr. I'm the owner and founder of fit.four.five, which is my fitness app, but I also am the owner of F3 Nutrition Coaching, and I'm currently in school for my functional nutrition practitioner license. So with doing this for a living, I have coached men in the carnivore diet before. Never in a million years did I ever dream that I would go carnivore. A little backstory is I am a past bikini competitor in the NPC circuit, and with my job and then also with competing, everything is, around the macros. And when you compete, everything is pretty much for sure protein and carbs. And when I competed, I had to have my fats really low, especially towards, the end right before I compete. And then, so on the carnivore diet, you have no carbs, and you have high fats and high protein, which is, even with me doing this for a living, is so because I have been taught that, we need the 3 macros, which we do. But it's almost like my clients that are over 40, by the way, I'm 51, all my clients that are over 40 that can't get off the cardio mentality. Well, that is kind of me with this. So I'm 12 days in, and I finally have got it out of my head that when I see my fats, because I am, even though on the carnivore diet, you really don't have to look at your macros, but I want to make sure I'm eating enough, because I have found out when I did nutrition coach men on the carnivore diet, they weren't eating enough, because you do stay fuller longer. And so I want to make sure that I'm eating enough, because I know what can happen when you don't eat enough, because I do this for a living. So, and I didn't do this to lose weight, even though I was having a lot of water retention. And I'm going to share on my stories after this what my face looked like. So I had been battling. If you get my emails, I told a little bit of backstory about my son and his situation where he was kicked out of a school for unjust reasons, and how I had to finally quit talking about it, because it really, if you're a parent, anytime that anything happens with your children, you go beast mode, mama mode, bear mode, whatever. And so a situation did. And it literally, in 51 years, I've lived a lot of life, but this really overtook my body. And I developed a fungi infection, which normally it's candida, which you normally think is from, bad gut health, which my gut health was fine, eating bad foods, but stress can kill you faster than anything. It can cause cancer, it can cause diseases, and I let a situation really get out of control. It started in August, but it excelled in November, and then some things happened in January, and and then really, really big in March, and then a week before Easter. In fact, I was so bad Easter Sunday that I literally could not get out of bed. And so the yeast, you think of a yeast infection, where we think in our private areas, but this actually did not start there. It started in my mouth, got in my nose, was in my eyes, was in my ears. It was in my armpits, my bra, boobs, everywhere. And I had a rash all over my body. So with me being in school, I have access to professors and doctors as well. And so I had thought to myself, you know what? I know that yeast and fungi feeds off of carbs. Well, I have been 51, and with all going through that, I was starting to get insulin resistant, because I said I sailed into age 50 great, in better shape than I ever had. Well, 51, I will have to say, has knocked me for a loop. But I was going through a lot of stress with the 14-year-old son, so I had a late in life baby. He's my third. And so my husband says I'm much more of a mama bear with my son than I ever was with my girls. I don't know if that could be true because mom son type thing, or maybe because he's my baby, or maybe just because he was unjust what happened. And so anyways, I knew that, and I won't take medication. I will not take antibiotics, because I know everything can be healed through food. And so antibiotics, it would just have messed up my gut health, and I just would have gone down a rabbit hole. And I have learned in my 51 years of life that I don't expect any fast fixes, So I wasn't expecting a fast fix, so I was not going to go the antibiotic route, and I could have. So I knew I could heal it through food. And so I thought, completely taking out carbs. But in my mind, the carnivore diet is for males. I don't know. I'm just thinking of the caveman. I feel like 12 days in this, I need to be wearing a bone in my hair and be like Bam Bam. And so I thought I have to eliminate carbs. And I feel like the only way to do that, because you still got to have the calories. So I thought, I'm going to do the carnivore diet. I have actually never, ever, I always say once you start saying the word never, you start never like ever before. Once I had kids and said, oh, my kids will never, well, then my kids would do that. And I've always said, I would never go the carnivore diet. That's a male diet, and stuff. Well, here I am going the carnivore diet. I will have to say, so I will share in my story how bad, and this picture that I have is not even half as how bad I was. Like, I was rash all over my body, literally the inflammation, and it wasn't from bad gut health. My gut health was fine. It was all, and I itched like crazy. Like, I could not lay down in bed and quit itching. So I knew, hey, I got to try the carnivore diet. And it's almost like, I don't ever like to say a diet, or I don't like, there's 3 macros for a reason. But my thing was, when someone's diabetic, they have to eliminate sugar. I knew that this is not going to be a life, something I'm going to do forever. And also, like you, I was thinking cholesterol. But again, there is so much. I feel like they're not all, because I have great doctor friends, I have great doctor clients, but a lot of them, some doctors will put you on a statin because your cholesterol is high instead of trying to handle it with food. But also, are the doctors asking you, is that high cholesterol from processed foods, processed meats, deli meats that have this, or is it from grass-fed meats or eggs from your chicken? So there's a difference in cholesterol. So I had to be mindful of myself that I'm going to be eating grass-fed meats, eggs from my chickens. I'm not going to be eating the processed foods. That is where the saturated fats, that's the problem. That is what's harmful. So, and I'm not going to be on this. I mean, who knows? I might be on it for 5 years, but that is not my go. My go was for anything. So anytime if you think, oh my gosh, I can't do the carnivore diet because my cholesterol is going to be high. Well, I'm not overweight. I had to do it for yeast fungus to get rid of it, and it did. But if you're overweight, if you're struggling with knee issues, if you have other ailments, outweigh it. Like, if I'm eating good cholesterol with the grass-fed meats and the eggs, is that going to be so much better than me being overweight with the bad cholesterol? So you got to weigh it all out. It's almost like, a diabetic, they have to cut sugar. Or my son, for instance, we changed his diet for what he was diagnosed with, but we did his totally different. He's eating organic fruits, and we are, he's juicing, he's fast for 24 hours. By the way, I do fast for 24 hours once a week. A lot of my clients, we do challenges each month, and so they were all given an ebook back in January, and we did fasting, and so you can fast from 24 to 72 hours, but I started that, worked my way up to it, but I do it for my hormones. So back to the carnivore diet, I will have to tell you, I have never felt better. I was starting to get insulin resistant anyway, just from stress, so I had eliminated the breads, and I've worked over the years eliminating breads anyway from my diet, but Brussels sprouts were bothering me, veggies were bothering me, fruits. And so I thought, I'm just going to go. So I told myself 12 days ago, I started on May 3rd. I forgot why I had to start on May 3rd, not May 1st. But anyway, I started on May 1st. So I'm 12 days in. And I'll have to say the first 3 days, and remember, I'm a past competitor. And so, I know how to manipulate the carbs. We'd have to take down, to no carbs and then throw carbs in before we go on stage. And so I've already done this, but I will have to say those first 3 days, which through my classes, they said I actually pushed through it a lot faster. It takes most people on the carnivore diet, they're tired 2 to 3 weeks into it, and that's why you have to give anything 30 days. And so the first 3 days, I could not hardly keep my eyes open because, my body processes carbs well. My carbs were like at 200, and then I just decided to go carnivore and just eliminate no carbs. So I was very, very sluggish, and so I completely took out all veggies and fruits. That's what all I was on anyway, all of March and April. as it was only this. So I was not having any bread or anything, and I still, those first 3 days. And I will have to say, and probably until yesterday, I missed my Greek yogurt because I went no dairy or anything. There's different steps of the carnivore diet that you can do, but I went no dairy, and you can have chicken. I don't eat fish. I only eat fish when I ever had a lean out for a show, but I have done strictly meat only, pretty much sirloin, filet, hamburger meat, and you have to make sure that they're fatty meats and eggs. So it has kept me satisfied as of now. Now, I did do a heavy cream because I have a sweet tooth and I was really, really craving my dark chocolate. And so I've given some recipes to my male clients before with, you do the heavy cream, you can do vanilla extract, and you put some salt in there. And so I had to do that for about the first week and stuff, just to kind of, and I really, the first week I did not really, I just ate whenever I was hungry. Now, one thing about the carnivore diet is that I used to eat 5 to 6 meals a day, smaller meals throughout the day. But with a carnivore diet, I have eaten 3 large meals, some days 2, because fats take longer to digest. And one thing I teach my nutrition clients is, and just because I'm doing this, I'm not pushing this on any of my clients, but I'm just sharing with you the inflammation. It's great for clients that have rheumatoid arthritis, inflammation, that are insulin resistant. I mean, it really is great. Hormone, like I said, I'm 51 and I was having so much water retention, stress, not sleeping well because of this situation with my son. And like I said, I developed a rash, fungi, so bad. Like, I have never experienced this in my life. Completely zapped it out because yeast and fungi feeds off of carbs, even fruits, veggies, anything. So I literally, and so I will have to say I miss my Brussels sprouts the most. So if y'all love Brussels sprouts, eat extra for me. I miss my frozen blueberries. I miss my Greek yogurt. You know, there are fun things that I miss. I miss my dark chocolate. I cheated and had 85% dark chocolate when I just had a craving because, like I said, I have not been perfect on this. And, but I'm on day 12 and I'm starting to get in a swing of things. But you can have a lot more food. And this is something when I have nutrition coach clients in the past, males, and I've had a lot of females that have reached out to me, and some that I'm currently coaching right now. I've kind of talked to them about, I'm like, you know, why you have me? If you want to kind of, why you have already been paying me, why don't we just kind of just implement this and see how your body does? Because one thing that I've noticed being in the nutrition world when people do carnivore diet is if you have a past binge eating and you take away the carbs and then, you know, you can't, you binge eat again because you don't have any carbs because you're not eating enough. And then you binge on carbs. So, you know, if you're someone past binge eating or eating issues, this may not be something that you need to try. And one thing about the carnivore diet is that you have to eat enough. You have to make sure you're eating it. So if you already struggle with protein, it may not be something for you to try. That's why it's great. I would say if I nutrition coach you, especially if I'm doing it right now, to grab me now so I can make sure and ensure that you're eating enough protein. And you have to eat enough fats, because that is what the carnivore diet is. So you're getting your energy from your fat. So when you're taking your zeroing out your carbs, and I say you're zeroing, I mean no carbs whatsoever, you have to make sure, and you can actually eat more because it takes longer for your body to process. So I'm actually eating more than normally. So I have dropped water weight, and that's which was inflammation, and so that's what I was wanted. I was not doing this to lose weight, even though I did need to lose weight because I let the water retention get to me and stuff, and I wasn't feeling good in my clothes and I wasn't feeling good overall. But on the carnivore diet, that's something that a lot of people get with me is they're saying, well, it's so expensive. So no, it's not. So I have budgeted it in with my Greek yogurt that I ate, with my frozen blueberries, all my veggies, because I eat a lot. You stay fuller longer eating. Now, obviously, we do have our own chickens, but they are expensive. And the meat that you eat. So it really is not that, I mean, if you eat at home, and you really do need to eat at home, especially the first 30 days, it's because you don't know what they're cooking with when you go, you know, to restaurants, the seed oils and things like that. And something else I've always told my male clients, and I'm doing myself, is that your food tastes so much better on a cast iron skillet. So I have an egg. I wish I'd have brought all this with me, but I don't want to get up and lose you guys. But we cook our eggs on a cast iron skillet, our meat on a cast iron skillet. I haven't been grilling it or anything. And it tastes so much better. And then also, I had told my nutrition clients this on our check-ins today and yesterday, that Himalayan salt. So I stay on all these forums, and I'm in school right now, that pink salt, one thing about nutrition, it's always ever changing. Pink salt is actually, they've found some of it has heavy metals. So I've asked all of my clients to change to Celtic salt. And if you're a client on here and you're watching this, message me in the app and I'll send you a picture of the Celtic salt. But Celtic salt or Redmond salt, switch it to that. But when you're on the carnivore diet, you have to make sure that you are getting enough salt. You salt that food like crazy. And then also drink enough water. I drink enough water as it is, but I will have to say on this carnivore diet, I have had to drink more, and I'm not drinking enough because my skin has kind of been dry. So today it's dry. It kind of goes in and out of being dry. But with a carnivore diet, you want to make sure that you have fatty meats, fatty ground beef. Like normally I would eat, when I went on the carnivore diet, 96% lean beef. Well, on this, I'm eating 80% because you want that extra fat, because that's what's going to keep you fuller longer. You can have like turkey sausage. I have not even gone into that. I haven't gone into beef liver yet. I actually haven't had any chicken, and I always ate ground chicken or ground turkey or organic chicken. But I literally right now, but I'm only on day 12, I've stuck with sirloin, filet, ground beef, and eggs, and it has kept me satiated. So, but I don't eat fish unless I have to lean out for a show. And I'm not competing, but you can have fish, all kinds of fish. Salmon is the best fish. You want to have those fatty fishes. You can have bone marrow, animal fat. I haven't even done that yet. Like you could literally, like my husband was cutting the fat off my steak. He goes, you can really eat this. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to go there yet. You can eat butter. Like I said, I had even, because I was craving some sweets, and you can do heavy cream. So I literally put heavy creamer, the heavy cream, because you want things with fats, and vanilla extract and some salt, and you blend it up in a blender and it makes it thick. So I've done that. I tried to make this from, I think her name's Kelly Hogan or Carrie Hogan. She's a big carnivore. I tried to make her oopsie doopsie cake, but I don't like cream cheese. Like you can eat cream cheese. Like it literally goes against everything I've been taught. Almost like our over 40 crowd, where we grew up in the cardio only era and we cannot back out. Like that's my hardest thing telling my clients, that to stop, doing cardio, your steps, and so it's just the mindset. But it's, get out of your head about the bad cholesterol. If you're eating the grass-fed meat, your eggs and things like that, you are okay. It's the cholesterol and the saturated fat from your processed foods or plant-based foods that you get in the freezer section and they say they're plant-based. They're not. They're lab-grown. Those aren't real plant-based food. And you can't do anything plant-based. It has to be animal. I want you to think about the ancestors. And you got to think about that back in the day, where they would give feast or famine. They would go out, they would kill the animal. Remember how lean and chiseled and dark all of them were? That's the diet. They all were lean and muscle. They ate the animal fat. They ate the goat. They ate the lamb. I know I have to get my mindset out of it as well. But you can have all that. For my bone broth lovers, y'all know I love bone broth. I promote bone broth. It's great for the skin. I actually have not done that yet. I actually did all that until I went carnivore, but I've stayed full just eating the animal. But you can have your bone broth, and that will actually help you get that water intake. For me, we've just been warm where I live, and it's been hard for me to drink the bone broth. I do so much better on my bone broth during the winter time when it's cold. But bone broth is great because I like to drink mine warm. Ghee, your hard cheeses, but you don't want to do too much of a cheeses because you will get constipated at first. And so even when I nutrition coach my male clients, they would get maybe the first week. I go regularly, but I did the first 3 days. My body was like, what is going on? And I didn't go to the bathroom. But day 4, the gate slid open. So know that you just got to stick with it. You really will. And I feel, and if you can see here, my yeast is completely gone. And I'll post on my stories after this live what my face looked like And this was not even the bad part. So a fungi infection feeds off of carbs, any types of carbs, fruits, veggies, or anything. And that is the only reason why I decided to go to the carnivore diet. But you can have duck, you can have lamb. I don't like beef jerky, but you can have beef jerky. You can do all that, and it's so expensive. That is where your costs can kind of get high, is on the beef jerky and things. But if you buy your grass-fed meat, and you just want to make sure that you are eating enough. If you struggle, so many people struggle with eating protein, you have to make sure and keep that protein up, but you really have to keep your fats up. And like I said, with competing, my fats were around 30 when I would go on stage. And in this, my fats are at 120. And let me just say, any of you out there that know how to macro coach or have competed that are watching this, you talk about mind altering to see my fats, because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to get cellulite, or all the things that you're thinking, and I haven't. I've actually dropped inflammation. I've dropped water retention. I'm sleeping better. I feel so much better. I cannot tell you. Now, this is going to be another question. What can you drink? You can't have any coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker, so that's great. You can't have any sodas. You do have to drink water. I do a lot of elements. It's LMNT, and that you can put in your water. So if you do, you need to be hydrating yourself with, if you do any type of water hydration, because you want to stay hydrated. You want to salt that food like crazy. And I'm talking about the good salt, not the iodized salt, because you have to keep your sodium up during this. So when I started this, I gave myself 30 days. I'm on day 12, and I've decided that I'm going to give myself 45 days, because I am liking the way I feel. It's a lot easier than what I thought. It's a lot cheaper than what I thought. I do know how to obviously coach myself, because I do this for a living. If you're someone that is wanting to coach yourself on this and not pay me or pay someone to do it, I definitely encourage you to make sure that you're eating enough, because what can happen is it's kind of like the weight loss shot that I talked about. When did I talk about that? A couple of weeks ago. No matter what nutrition, that's why I did not want to go on any type of antibiotics or any type of medication for this, because everything can be healed through your diet. And so I know that if I don't eat enough, then my metabolism is going to get adapted to that. And if I decide not to do this any longer, then that's where people yo-yo dieting, is because they don't eat enough, or they eat too much, they don't eat enough. So I wanted to make sure that I kept my caloric intake up where it was. Actually, it's a little bit more, because you can eat more on this diet, because you're not having to, you're not having the carbs. Your body's processing through the fats. Now, if I've ever nutrition coached you, or you've listened to me on social media, and I've talked about how when you work out, you want your fats minimal around your workout. So normally before this, I would maybe eat an hour before I worked out, and then eat 30 minutes post-workout. Well, because I'm eating such high fats, I make sure and do not work out 2 hours before I eat or 2 hours after I eat. So I keep a large window in there, because I don't want those fats to mess with my workout gains. So, but I stay fuller longer. Like I said, I was eating 5 to 6 meals a day, and on the carnivore diet, you just have larger meals. The fats keep you fuller longer. So you only need 3. There's one day that I was so extra hungry that I ate so much in one meal, but I ate all of my calories. I know it's kind of crazy in that one meal, that I didn't eat again. So I kind of counted that as my 24-hour fast. Again, I do this for a living, so I know what I'm doing. But know that you want to make sure that, zero carbs. I mean, to be true carnivore, it's no carbs. So when you're looking at that, and you want to have grass-fed meats, no processed meats, that does not count. Nothing in the frozen section, that does not count. If you do your hard cheeses, because you can do those, I would wait till you get in a good rhythm, because you're already going to be kind of constipated at the first half, and those hard cheeses can make you more constipated. But if you drink enough water, you keep enough your salt up, really salt that food, salt your water throughout the day, that will help. You can do apple cider vinegar, that will also help you go to the bathroom as well. And so, and then cook in a cast iron skillet over a grill. It really does make your food taste so much better. And so does anyone have any questions for me before I get off here? I did not realize I've kept you guys on longer than I wanted, but if you want to, after this is over with, either DM me, email me some questions over. DM is easier on Instagram, not so much on Facebook. It's best if you either comment below or you can email me or go to my website, fit.four.five.co, and you can contact me there and I can answer any questions. But for any of you females, I have the same thoughts as you did. Like, I'm going to get fats because I'm eating so much fats. I'm going to get cellulite because I'm eating so much fats. I have not done any of that. Like I said, I've always thought of it as a male diet because we're thinking of meats, but you can have fish, you can have chicken, you can have lamb, you can have duck, you can have so much more. I just happen to like to eat meat, and I've liked it on a cast iron skillet. I haven't actually missed my grilled chicken. That's what I ate most of. I mainly have missed my Greek yogurt because you don't really need to do dairy in a